going to teach you guys how to play Gosu, the game of Goblin Supremacy. In Gosu, you are a Goblin Warlord, and what you are doing is constructing an army. You and the other players, it takes up to 4, have a hand of cards that are going to be full of goblins. And in this game, you essentially construct an army. The goal of the game is to, through having a large army, attain the most victory points. When you get 3 of them, you are the winner. And I'll explain how to get those later. At the beginning of the game, every player draws 7 cards, and as I mentioned, each card has a goblin on it. There are 5 different colors of goblin. They all have technical names, but for the purposes of the review, there are green ones, blue ones, white ones, black ones, and red ones. Each goblin, beyond having one of these colors or tribes, also has a rank. There's rank 1 goblins, rank 2 goblins, and rank 3 goblins. Rank 1 goblins, in calculating score, are worth 2 points. Rank 2 goblins are worth 3 points, and rank 3 goblins are worth 5 points. There are also some goblins have another number on them, which demarcates their mutation cost, which I'll go into later. But that's essentially the outline of how the cards work. There's a little text box that's full of information regarding how to play them and what effects they have, and that's pretty much how the cards work. On your turn, you have 1 action. You can use this action in a number of different ways. You may play a goblin card, or you may play an activation token, which look like this. When you play a goblin, your first goblin is free. Your first goblin you play must be a rank 1 goblin. You play it, putting it down in front of you. That goblin is now in your army. When you play goblins, you must also play from left to right. Now, on my next turn, then I can play another goblin. If I have another white goblin in my hand, since this one is white, I can play that one for free. But if it is a different color, then I have to discard 2 cards to play it. So if I wanted to play this green goblin, I would have to then discard 2 cards. Once you have rank 1 goblins, you may move up to rank 2 goblins. It works in a very similar way. If you want to play a rank 2 goblin, you must have a rank 1 goblin of the same color. You can then play it as an action for free. When I have a rank 1 green goblin, I can play a rank 2 green goblin. Then if I have a rank 1 and a rank 2 of the same color as an action on my next turn, say, I could play a rank 3. That is how goblins are played, more or less. They're always played from left to right and in rows based on their rank. You may also, as an action, spend your activation tokens. You may spend 1 activation token to draw 1 card. You may spend both your activation tokens at the same time to draw 3 cards. Or there are certain goblin cards that have a little token symbol on them, and by playing a activation token on the card, you may use the activated effect. You may also, if you have a goblin in play that has a mutation cost, for instance, this card here has a mutation cost of 3. You may discard, if you want to mutate this goblin, you may discard that many cards from your hand and then replace this goblin with another legal goblin for that position. So I could discard this one and replace it with another rank 2 of a white or a green goblin. This is important because in each row you can only have up to 5. Once you get 5, you can play no more unless you mutate or unless 1 is destroyed.
I believe you can actually circumvent the requirements to have the appropriate color with mutation. I believe you can go with for instance, if you have a white and a green goblin and then a level 2 green goblin, you can switch that green goblin to a red goblin.
Yeah, that is also a legal choice. Aside from that, there are a number of effects that some of the goblin cards have that are not immediately intuitive. There are some cards, especially black cards, that reference destroying free goblins. And what a free goblin is any goblin that is more or less not protected. In this instance, and by not protected I mean nothing essentially next to it on the right. In this instance, we have in this 3 goblin array, we have this goblin, the white one here, and this green goblin up here in rank 2. Both are free because there's nothing else next to them. But this one, this green rank 1 goblin is protected. It has a card boarding it to the right. If a card says to destroy a goblin that is free, you take the player of that card chooses a legal target, and then that card is discarded. The other effect that some cards will have is trap. And when you trap a card, that card is turned face down. It remains this way until the next Great Battle. The Great Battle is the way in which that victory tokens are gained. When a player wins a Great Battle, they gain a victory token, and they win a Great Battle by having the highest value of goblins in play. And essentially, all players add up the scores of all the goblins they have. Whoever is the highest wins a victory token. The Great Battle is triggered when all players have passed. And what a pass is when a player decides he has no more plays he wants to make this round. He says pass, and he is essentially done. Everybody else in play keeps taking turns and plays as many actions as they want to play until each of them passes. And once all the passes have been made, there's a whole big fight. You calculate the winner, everybody gets their activation tokens back, and you start the next round. Should there be a tie, we have this handy-dandy little thing called the advantage token. The advantage token exists essentially for that purpose expressly, to break ties. It is given out at random at the beginning of the game. Certain card effects allow you to take it, and it breaks ties in your favor. All right. There are also alternate ways to gain victory besides victory tokens. A lot of these rank 3 goblins have special victory effects on them that will say, for instance, if you start a round with a full tableau of 15 goblins, you are the winner. That is an alternate way to win that bypasses the victory point condition. Is there anything that I'm forgetting?
No, I just think, again, stress that you can only have 5 goblins in any given row, and that the goblins in the higher rows can never exceed the number of goblins in the rows below them. So that you do actually have to, you can't just sort of rank 1 rush. You do have to actually build up into the higher level goblins, which can be tricky because the deck's very skewed towards level 1s.
Correct. And all that said, I think it's time to go into the review.
Yeah.